Assalamualaikum dear student and madam. Today our group gonna present for subject 5 FAR570 presentation on relating to segmental FAR508 and interim reporting and FAR134. Let's see what we up to. So this is our group members, consists 5 members, which is me, Tengku Muhammad Sharizman bin Tengku Anumanan, Muhammad Amar, Ahmad Izul Ifan, Muhammad Azrai, and Shami Faris. Part A. Segmental Reporting. Our company background, which is IHH Healthcare Berhad. IHH Healthcare Berhad offers high-quality healthcare services. The company maintains medical clinics and provides primary healthcare services. It owns and manages radiology clinics. It provides diagnostic laboratory services, and it provides managed care and related services. The corporation has offices in Singapore, Malaysia, Turkey, Brunei, Vietnam, United Arab Emirates, and Macedonia. IH was established in 2010 and its headquarters in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. IH is listed on the main market of Bursa Malaysia. IH is one of the greatest healthcare networks in the world, with 80 facilities in 10 countries to develop long-lasting relationships founded on trust. We think that making it difference begin with empathy and putting our patient needs first. From routine care to heartwarming gestures, we always provide our all with true compassion. One patient, one family, and one touch at a time. To aspire consistently, elevate the bar in healthcare across several geographies, including our home market of Malaysia, Singapore, Turkey, and India, using our unique reach and size, and to generate synergies across our network. Across our trusted healthcare brands, we provide a broad range of integrated healthcare services to our patients. IHH is making healthcare better, faster, easier, and more expensive for our patients by building on what we do well and sharing our capabilities and resources globally. We are proud of leading brands which are synonymous with excellence in healthcare, and all are dedicated to one goal: to touch lives and transform care. Okay. Our vision to be the world's most trusted healthcare services network. Our mission to take exemplary care for our patients, anchor around our peoples who strive to continuously and raise the bar in clinical, operational, and services excellence. Our commitment: we believe trust is the cornerstone of our relationship, and it starts with honoring our commitments.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Muhammad Amar bin Khair Mizan, and now I will present the management approach. So, in management approach, they have 3 things, which are factors to be considered having a segment reporting, type of segment, and the chief decision making, which is CODM and its responsibility. So next, okay, for the factors to be considered having a segment reporting, we have 4 factors, which are nature of the business, nature of production process, type of customer, and method to distribute product or services. For the number 1, which is nature of business. The definition, which is an operating segment will usually have a segment manager who is directly accountable to and has a regular contact with. The CODM has to discuss the performance of the segment. However, a single manager may be the segment manager for more than one operating segment. If the characteristic in the definition quoted above apply for more than one set of components, and held responsible that the set of constitutes its operating segments. Okay, for number one, the nature of the business. IHH Healthcare Berhad provides a premium healthcare services to the patients, no matter what kind of care they needed. This company is an investment holding company in conjunction with these services. Number two, the nature of production process. There are five, but I will highlight only three, which is number one, this company provide basic day-to-day healthcare services to the patients. For number two, provide special consultation, local surgeries, emergency care, and so on. Next, which is the quaternary care, which is advanced level of medical care that involves high intensity complex surgeries towards the patient. Next, which is number three, the ancillary service like analytical laboratory testing, physiotherapy, rehabilitation, and many more. Number three, which is the factors to be considered in the number three, which is type of customer. IHH Healthcare Berhad targeting to medium and high level of income for their class of customer. And for number four, which is the method to distribute the product and services. IHH Healthcare Berhad operates hospital, clinic, medical center, and other healthcare businesses across multiple countries like Malaysia, Singapore, Turkey, and India, also China. And next, we are going to the type of segment. Okay, IHH Healthcare Berhad use geographical segment in their operating segments. As an example, Malaysia, Singapore, Turkey, India, and China. This location is currently used by the company in order to make revenue as well as restoring their asset according to this country, Malaysia, Singapore, Turkey, India, and China. Next, we're going to the factors number three, which is how to identify the chief of decision maker, which is CODM and its responsibility. CODM, or the function of CODM, is to allocate resources, assess performance, and responsible for making strategic decisions about this entity segment. In practice, a key issue in identifying operating segment is the extent to which the operating results of business segment are aggregated for the purpose of review by the CODM. In many cases, the CODM will review information about the operating result of individual businesses as unit as well as group businesses unit. It may be difficult to establish operating result of individual business unit as well as. So, we have, for example, IHH Healthcare Berhad. IHH Healthcare Berhad is the CODM of IHH Healthcare Berhad are all board of members like Tan Sri Muhammad Azlan bin Hashim as the chairman of steering committee, Dr. Kevin Loh Chi Kion as the executive member of the steering committee, Takeshi Akutsu as non-executive member of the steering committee, and other board of directors.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Azrai bin Muhammad Kamal, and now I will explain to you about operating segment for IHH Healthcare Company. So basically, operating segment is a component of an entity that engages in business activity where it earns revenues and also incur expenses for the company. Besides that, operating segment is also activity that's regularly reviewed by CODM, which is Chief Operating Decision Maker, in order to allocate the resources and also to assess performance for each operating segment. So usually operating segment need to be reported in the financial information if they exceed the 10% of threshold test, and also in order to identify whether they are reportable or non-reportable segment. So in order to identify whether they are reportable or non-reportable segment, we'll be using the 10% threshold test based on revenue basis. So the formula is the sum up of inter-segment revenue and also external revenue for each operating segment, and then we divide by the total revenue for all the operating segment, and then we multiply by 100%. So if the percentage that we get is higher than 10%, so they will be considered as reportable segment, and if they are not exceed 10%, so they will be considered as non-reportable segment. So then we'll be moving to the next slide. Okay, so after we identify whether the operating segment is reportable or non-reportable, then we'll be having the 75% of threshold test on those reportable segment only. So for 75% threshold test, the formula is total external revenue of reportable segment divided by the total revenue and multiply by 100%. Then we get 74.11%. Since the total of external revenue of IHH Healthcare does not exceed the 75%, so it is required to add another reportable segment in order to exceed the 75%, even though the segment that we add does not exceed the 10% of threshold test that we already test before. So for the IHH Healthcare Company, we decided to add external revenue from Greater China of Parkway Pantai. Then will be multiplied by total revenue and then get the percentage, which is 78.21%. So after adding the external revenue from Greater China operating segment, so the total external revenue is 78.21%, which is exceed the 75% of threshold test. And besides that, we will consider the Greater China of operating segment as reportable segment, and it need to be reported. It need to be reported in the financial information. And then we move to the last one, which is the new segment report. So as you can see that this is the new segment report for IHH Healthcare Company after we identify the reportable and non-reportable. So before this, we know that they had 9 reportable segment. They had 9 operating segment, and now they have only 6 segment, which is from reportable segment. So this will make easier for the third party and also CODM, especially in order to just like I said, to assess the performance and also allocate resources, and besides that, to make a better decision for the company. So I think that's all for me. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum.
So, in conclusion, IHH Healthcare Berhad use segment reporting to assess the performance of different areas of the business, which are providing healthcare services, some investments, international and other healthcare business. Other companies do it on their own to show which segments are performing to expectation and which segments are not. However, the company may have several advantages and disadvantages of segment reporting. First and foremost, we have transparency. Analysis. Potential investors and other stakeholders need complete information to evaluate the sustainability and growth of a company and to monitor the performance of its management. Like this company, which is IHH Healthcare Berhad, is focusing on the sustainability between the stakeholders so that it will give benefit on trust between those stakeholders, and is designed to help investors better to understand on its potential cash flow. So number 2, which is better sense of fluctuation that might affect overall numbers. If a business reports much higher earnings than expected, for example, segment reporting shows where those earnings are coming from. A stakeholder can look at the same report to determine if the numbers are sustainable. And the last advantages, which is data manipulation. Segment reporting lends itself to data manipulation if the information is reported through management eye style. This gives company leaders more discretion in how to determine which segments are constructed and what metrics are reported. For example, it can also be cherry-picked metrics to send the desired message to the stakeholders. On the losses in an internet division, it could be grouped with an unrelated profitable businesses. You need to paint a better performance. And now we're going to the disadvantages. Number one, which is first and foremost, the misinterpretation. The segment sales figure are larger than the consolidated sales figure, so that is why it leads to misinterpretation. Besides that, the determination of segment is also the problem of the misinterpretation. And however, it is easy to be traced, but the real problem is in determining the shared segment cost out of common costs incurred in two or more segments. Difficult in providing data is another disadvantages of segment reporting. Measurement problems have created problem of difficulty in providing it while doing segment report. Since the measurement problem influence the feasibility of disclosing certain information, one should look at the problem of determining segment information. If we look upon profit and loss account statement, we immediately run into trouble with the sales figure, particularly inter-segment sales. And the last disadvantages is the additional cost that might be incurred on the cost of disclosure. The provision of additional information along with routine information increase the firm's operating costs, and this might affect the other costs of production. Thank you.
Part B. Interim reporting. First part of interim reporting is basis of preparation. First part is publish quarterly interim financial report. Secondly, it is prepared on periodic basis. Thirdly, it is prepare its financial statement (MFRS) for the financial period ending 31 December 2021. And lastly, the interim financial report is audited and prepared accordance to MFRS 134 and paragraph 9.222 Bursa Malaysia Securities Berhad listing requirement.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Shami Faris bin Muhammad Faisal, and I'll be presenting Part B, Question B and C. There are two types of accounting policies that were used by IHH Healthcare Berhad. Firstly is contract assets or contract liabilities. Contract assets are recognized when the group's right to consideration is conditional on something other than the passage of time. Contract assets are subject to impairment in accordance to MFRS 9, Financial Instruments. Meanwhile, contract liabilities are stated at cost and represents the obligation of the group to transfer goods or services to a customer for which consideration has been received or the amount is due from the customers. Next is provision. A provision is recognized if, as a result of a past event, the group has a present legal or constructive obligation that can be estimated reliably, and it is probable that an outflow of economic benefits will be required to settle the obligation. Provisions are determined by discounting the expected future cash flows at a pre-tax rate that reflects current market assessment of the time value of money and risk specific to the liability. The unwinding of the discount is recognized as finance cost. Next is types of interim report that were used by IHH Healthcare Berhad. There are four types of interim report that were used by IHH Healthcare Berhad. First is an audited consolidated statement of profit or loss. Next is an audited consolidated statement of financial position. Thirdly, an audited consolidated statement of changes in equality. Last but not least is an audited consolidated statement of cash flows. That's all from me. Thank you.
So, this is an interim report for 4 quarter ended 31 March 2021. Statement of financial position for the financial year ended 31 3rd 2022. So the current period is as at 31 per 3 per 2022. Comparative year to date as at 31st March 2021. So for the statement of income and comprehensive income for the financial year ended 31st March 2022. For period of current year, which is 3 months ending 31st March 2022. Comparative year to date, 3 months ending 31st March 2021. Year to date is 12 months ending 31st March 2022. Comparative year to date, 12 months ending 31st March 2021. So, interim report for statements changes in equity for financial year ended 31st March 2022, which is year to date 12 months ending 31st March 2022. Comparative year to date 12 months ending 31st March 2021. For statement of cash flow for financial year ended 31st March 2022. Year to date period is 12 months ending 31st March 2022, and comparative year to date 12 months ending 31st March 21.
So for the proposed adjustment, firstly is inventories. So on 30 June 2021, the cost of inventories is RM 435,650,000, and the expected net realizable value of the inventories at 30 June 2021 is 446,283,000. On 31 December 2020, the cost of inventory is 540,562,000, and the net realizable value of the inventories is RM 430,550,000. So for the adjustment value of inventories, which is lowest between cost and net realizable value. So on 30 June 2021, the inventory should be recorded at the lower cost of 485,650,000, and the loss of inventories from previous statement of profit or loss should be reversed back. So on 31 December 2020, the inventories should be recorded at the lower net reserve value of 420,153,000, and the loss of inventory at 120,409,000 should be recognized in statement of profit or loss. So this before adjustment. So on 30 June 2021, the current inventories, the asset for the inventories for the asset is 446,280,000, and as at 31 December 2020, 430,153,000. So after the adjustment, it becomes on 30 June 2021, 435,650,000, and on 31 December 2020, it becomes also 420,150,000. And then second, proper adjustment, depreciation of property, plant and equipment. So depreciation and impairment of property, plant and equipment was due to impairment loss of 146.8 million for Gleneagles Chengdu Hospital. So before the adjustment, on the unaudited consolidated statement of financial foundation as at 30 June 2020. So for the asset, the PPE is mounted at 11,560,487. So after the adjustment, so the outdated statement of the financial position as at 30,2021. So for the asset, property, plant and equipment, so the 11,560,400,000, so minus by 146,800,000 and 64,170,000. So it equals to 11,650,000 and 880 and 800,000.